Hey Hero fans, this is Todd, and people ask me all the time, how do I make those kick-ass beginnings of all my videos that look so good? So first of all, I use a program called Nauk Nauk. I love Nauk Nauk. It's awesome. It's made just for action figures. And being I love to do stop motion, I mix my stop motion techniques with Nauk Nauk and use them both. And you use them together, it makes some really cool scenes. Now, a lot of times people will try to use AI or something else and, have one picture, like they'll show like a figure. Let's see if I got one sitting here in the box still. And they'll take a picture of her and they'll say, hey, have April bust out of the box, right? Well, that's all good and cool and stuff. But if you use a first picture and a last picture and you say, have April break out of the box, and the first picture you have like this, the second picture you have of the box like this, blown out with the figure standing in front, then AI knows what to do with it and it will actually do it right. I've seen so many pictures that are done wrong for the blowout, it just won't work. So think in your mind, how would this be if I was to take and do this with stop motion one frame at a time, which would take a long time? You would actually make the box blown out. And so you need to do the same thing with your AI. Now, it may take 3 or 4 runs before you get it exactly right, but eventually you'll find the right angle. Usually a slight angle like this, so you can see the blowout better. I use some foot spray on it in order to see the clearness. Otherwise, if it's too clear, you can't see it, and then it won't show up on the film, and then AI won't know how to generate it. So every time I do something, I always try to think, how would it be in stop motion? So an example was next when I had Hordak blast He-Man, ba-bam! I literally held his leg like this and tilted him back like he was just blasted in the chest, and had his leg held off camera like that with my hand, and then had him standing here, well actually not this figure, but a figure just like him, and then had the AI blast him. And then the next scene, I threw him on the ground, had him over here, plastered him down, raised my camera up, and took another shot, and thought to myself, what would the frames be? We're talking 5-second increments in between each one. So when you're using Nauk Nauk, remember, each thing's only 5 seconds. Too much animation within 5 seconds is going to look bad because it's going to be too quick and you're going to miss the action. You need to plan out your spots. Have your start frame, end frame. Then that end frame is now your start frame for your next one. And then you go from there to the next one, which is your end frame for the other one, and so on and so on. And then when you go to animate them, you have start frame, end frame. This end frame is now your start frame, a new end frame. This end frame is now your start frame, a new end frame. This end frame is now your start frame, and a new end frame. Now, it takes a little bit of time to get it all just right. Because not only do you have to then have your start and end frame, you have to also narrate what's going to happen during that 5 seconds. Like he blasts out of the box. His hand turns into a gun. Or a cannon in this case. Or he blasts He-Man in the chest. The blasting He-Man in the chest spot took forever to get it just right. Because it kept shooting from this side, blam, 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 and then finally shoot him, and then... It would also take and not hit him, or hit him before, then he'd fall, and it's just like, it was just over and over trying to get the text just right so it would work. Now, when you do your AI Nauk Nauk stuff, now I'd like to refer to it as computer generated. It just sounds so much better than AI. Computer generated scenes using Nauk Nauk. Have Nauk Nauk run the part where it generates the sound for you. Do not add music. If you add music, it's going to be all disjointed when you put them all together, because each one's going to have the music start over for each little 5-second clip. So instead, you want to have your music added later yourself, but do the sound effects. And make sure when you do your sound effects, you turn them down to about 65%. Otherwise, they'll override your music too much. And sometimes Nauk Nauk does some strange things with the sounds. That is true. You can regenerate them. You can retype what you want the sound to sound like if it didn't generate it right the first time. Now, the sound generation can be a real pain. I found myself having to restart it many times over and over. The problem is the server gets overloaded. It's best to do it first thing in the morning because that's when the server is less loaded. So if you generate all your clips in the evening and then the next morning generate all your sounds, you will find it works really well. That way you got all your pictures out of the way, you got all your stuff out of the way, then get up super early, generate your sounds, and then you can put your clips together, add your music, and bada bing, bada boom, it looks really cool and you're ready to go. So that is the trick to using Nauk Nauk correctly, is to think of it as stop motion. Remember your past when you first started to try to do stop motion figures. And I remember I had a figure similar to this one right here. It was actually a Micronaut, and it's one of my first stop motions I did many, many, many years ago. Not with this figure, but one that I modeled this out after. And I remember doing his blast, and every time he would shoot, I'd have his hand shoot up. It was like, pew, pew, pew. It was really cool, you know, and, well, maybe not so cool for today's technology, but I remember doing it. It was so many frames I had to take to get that shot to work just right. That's what it was. I had his arm like this, and then we'd shoot, his hand would shoot up like, you know, it was being forced back from the power. Then he put his hand back down, blast again. And I had a lot of repeat frames because back then it was easier to repeat frames with an Amiga computer, but still, it was pretty cool to do that stop motion. Now, just because we have newer, fresher, faster, cooler tools, don't forget how you did stop motion originally and have that same exact mindset. And try to make sure that the frame that you want to be captured is definitely one of the frames that you take. Like I wanted him in the air, shot back, like he was just blasted in the chest. So that was one of my end frames on purpose to make sure that that was captured and AI would do that. Otherwise, you end up with, you know, throwing a card in a hat and hoping it lands. So control your animations on what you want with the start and end frames. The more you control it, the better it will look when you're all done. Sometimes I storyline it out. I take and plot out a story plan or a storyboard of what I'm looking for from start to finish. Even for as simple as a 20-30 second animation, if you storyboard out what you're looking for, and you go, okay, I want to blast out of the box, I want this to happen, I want this to happen, I want this to happen, and at the end, this is what I want it to look like, then you can do that. Now, the one thing I didn't do, which I wish I would have told it to have the volcano erupting, which I did not, and so that is a disjointed spot where it's just frozen in time in the background. So you'll notice that in the video clip. Anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a quick heads up on how to make Nauk Nauk better and how to make those really awesome intros I make. It does take a lot of time. I spend probably about 2 to 3 hours just doing the intro, which I know sounds funny because when you use computer generated type stuff, it should be a whole lot faster. But because you spend so long setting it up just right and rerunning again and again and again to get the computer and retyping stuff to get it to generate what you want, and then doing the sound effects, and then I run it through different compressors and stuff to change the videos to, and then I finally put it all together, add the music, add any extra sounds I need, take out sounds I don't want. By the time you're all done, it's about a 2-hour jaunt. Now I'm going to show clips on this one of ones I've already done. So I didn't make anything new for this particular video. Remember, you don't have to always use the full clip. Many times I will take the clip and use just a few seconds from it and then cut it, and then the other one too. So think of that in mind, that you don't have to use the full 5 seconds each time. You can also speed it up and shorten it. Like I've taken and lengthened clips sometimes or shortened them to make them fit right for the motion. Many times I'll take like a 10-second clip and turn it into a 15-second clip and just slow it down. Like my underwater one I did with Mermista. That one I actually slowed the clip down as she's going through the water to 15 seconds It makes sense because she's underwater. It should go. Anyway, that's all I got, and thanks for joining me. Like they say in the 1987 movie, good journey. Bye now.
If you found enjoyment, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Do it.